The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Mick Shots.
Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Now, here are Bill Jones, Heckma Harrison, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
Well, good afternoon, Cowboy Nation, and welcome to the Taj Mahal of football here in Frisco, Texas, home of your Dallas Cowboys. Welcome into the SWBC Mortgage Studios. You are now rocking with the best. I'm Heckma Harrison. He is a Super Bowl champion. Everson Walls is here, and the man that the show is named after, Mickey Spagnola, ladies and gentlemen. Can we get claps all around for Mickey Spagnola being in the building? Mickey, how are you, sir?
Where's Bill Jones?
There it is. That's what I was looking for.
3 out of 4 ain't bad.
3 out of 4 ain't bad. Bill Jones is attending to other matters.
And he will not be missed.
Well, he should make it back by
He'll be back.
He'll be back by the end of the show. But, guys, I get an opportunity to host today, so it's my rules. We're going to hit all of this today, Mickey. Look at your list. Every last topic on here, we're going to hit it, Mickey. I hope you wrote that down in that cheat sheet you got over there.
Here's the list.
There is the list. Okay, yeah. Sure he got that. Sure he has the list.
It's right here. I gave you a thumbs up.
Thank you.
Get it?
Thank you.
I'm the only one gave you a thumbs up.
It's okay, man. It doesn't bother me. Hey, but I want to ask you guys this, because when I get an opportunity to host a show, I ask this question. I start with my host, and I ask a mental check-in. How are you doing today? I'm checking on you. So I'm going to start with you, Everson. How are you today, man?
You know, you would ask me that, because today I am recovering from a bad I don't know if it's an abscess or what on my gum. I didn't get to go to Charles Haley's golf tournament. It was throbbing so much it went into my head. It was a headache. Man, I was all night just feeling like
That's
crap.
not fun.
Fun.
Sorry we asked.
Yeah, I know, right? Man, it was crazy.
I just wanted to hear, good.
I had to take some Advil and stuff. You know, I can't be taking that stuff on one kidney, but I had to, man. I had to.
But you are here.
I'm here.
But you made it.
So much better. Thank
An
you for
abscess on your jaw, man.
I'm good now, though. I'm good now, baby.
You eat the wrong thing?
I don't know what the hell happens, Bags, but I'm going to tell you this. I'm good. I'm blessed. Because, boy, that could have been a whole lot worse than when it turned out to be. Got a good night's sleep. I got good people at home take care of me.
There you go. Mickey, how are you today,
I'm
sir?
Great as always.
Great as always, huh?
As always.
Well, good to hear, man.
And what can we ask? How are you doing, sir?
Man, you know what? They let me in the door down there. I'm blessed. they open the door one more time. All right?
As long as that door is opening for you.
I'm crossing my fingers and doing a little jig at the door every time. And
little crip walk.
No crip walk.
Every time I hit this badge at the door on the front and it opens, I'm going, okay, it's a good day.
So you know the feeling. You know the feeling.
I always check, because if it doesn't work.
Feel like that. Only mixed shots is supposed to feel like that. Because we are always teetering on the edge.
If it doesn't work, it's like,
they're gonna blame
they
us.
caught up with me.
I didn't know that I was going to be hosting today. Had I known that, I would have sent you guys home with a little homework like Bill usually does.
Yeah.
But
you did good, man.
In the rundown, and specifically about this New York Giants defense, because I think everyone out there believes that this New York Giants defense is the strength of their team. Yeah. Now, offensively, after the first week against the Philadelphia Eagles, we feel a lot better about our offense, specifically our offensive line. And so, Mickey, I read your article where you talked about this team and specifically the offense and possibly this running game dominating against the Giants, in your words.
You thought no one cared.
What's that?
You thought no one cared, did you?
About?
When you wrote your articles.
Well, I just
read it, and he is ready to talk about it. Let's do it.
Well, can I just push that back just a little bit?
Push it back then. Go ahead.
Can you play cornerback?
I can.
They might need you.
For real? Is it that? Bland, what is going on, man? I didn't know his foot was hurting.
He's probably out multiple weeks.
What is happening, man? Why can't...
Yeah. That happened Monday. That happened Monday. It comes down today. And I mean, yesterday when we got the word on that. But, yeah.
Missed practice. And think about it. So Bland, he's out for this game, maybe the next game. Eberflus said that I was just listening to him, and he said that, unfortunate, feel bad for him, but we got to have guys step up. But here's the problem. if I listed you the Cowboys' top 6 cornerbacks, 2 of them will play on Sunday. Diggs, who's ramping up, by the way. So how many snaps can he do more than the 27 he did last week? And Kaiir Elam. They got 4 guys out now with Bland, Savon Revel on NFI still.
Oh, yeah.
Josh Butler on IR. Kalen Carson on IR.
Always.
So there's 4 of the top 6 will not be available on Sunday. And you need 3, right?
Yeah.
At least.
So now you got.
But 4 for sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, I know there was a guy out there. He had number 24 on. Kwamu. Kwamu, he was there. I'm telling you.
He's
I
been
long
know
gone
he's
now.
gone, but I told you guys.
But he's
to
been
keep
gone for 2 years
I'm
now.
just messing with
In your article, you talked about Reddick Stewart.
Reddy Stewart was the guy that if if Diggs wasn't ready to go, he was going to go into the slot and Bland would have stayed outside.
you. Right.
So to me, he's probably first guy up here. He knows the defense since he played with Eberflus last year, but he didn't play that much. And then Triquiz Bridges. Probably Jaquise will be active. He was active last week, just special teams.
Yeah.
So he's got to be active, and I think they got to think about elevating Zion Childress off the practice squad.
That's the
just
name.
have enough numbers.
Yeah, there's the name right there, Zion Childress. That's the guy that you were confident in him in
Thought he would
season.
make
Everybody
team.
liked him in preseason. I loved him in
Until
preseason.
they brought in these other guys,
Right.
And then he ended up on the practice squad. So, when they go to nickel, I mean, to me, Diggs has got to play more than just nickel.
Yeah.
He's got to go out there. Hopefully, he's ready for it. Eberflus didn't say. He said they would increase his. See how the practice goes, but would need to increase his reps
load,
and his snaps too. So this is somewhat problematic. Now, obviously, the Giants didn't throw the ball all that well in their opener, but still,
To me, this is a time where, you don't really look at positions. You just look at numbers. You're looking at players. You bring Childress back or whoever you bring back or whoever you bring in, they don't necessarily have to be cornerbacks at this point. No. You got to just bring in bodies. You gotta
Right.
bring in somebody, whoever your best safety is at coverage, then he might have to be the guy in the slot.
and
you
Wanye
just
Thomas
keep-
would probably fill that role
Okay.
among the safeties, depending on who they're matching up.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
I don't know if you want to go nickel if they're in 2 tight ends.
Right.
But if you got to cover a tight end, then I would think Wanye Thomas at least work there in training camp. Some.
I like what you're saying about that, bringing in bodies versus position.
Yeah.
But you think about last week, what happened versus Philly, it was all dink and dunk short.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to get the same thing this week as well with Russell. He doesn't stretch the ball the way that he used to. So you're looking at Slayton, Darius Slayton, Robinson, and Neighbors being the wide receivers, and Neighbors being the one that you definitely have to worry about, not allow him to get loose.
Their weakness is offensive line, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
So
The
And
Achilles
we
heel
need to
of the whole.
make sure that our defensive line puts as much pressure as possible, so that slot man, whoever, cornerback or safety,
Yes.
so that he won't be under duress for 4 or 5 seconds back there trying to cover someone in the slot who most likely is the primary target.
So when you have inexperienced guys at cornerback, is it easier to play zone or you want them in man? What would you do?
Whatever you play, it has to be simple.
Okay.
Whatever you play, zone or man, I'm not particular to either one. As long as you make sure you keep it as simple as possible for the players. If they're going to move, if there's movement, keep it simple, guys. If there's movement in man, keep it simple. Movement in zone, keep it simple. And we can do that against this team. But once again, in the trenches, we need to make sure, and I saw good coverage in the back against Philadelphia, and I saw good pressure on Jalen Hurts in the game. But Jalen is Jalen.
But you got to keep him in there.
You got to keep him in there, and we should have learned from last week. But having said that, Russell's not teetering on a cane or anything, but he is a guy. I mean, he is a guy that can get you 5 yards if he has to,
right?
If you let him.
Right.
The Commanders didn't let him do that. We cannot let him do that in this game.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at what they did this first week, he completed 17 of 37 passes, but 11 of those were to wide receivers. The rest were running backs, tight ends.
Is that why Neighbors was so pissed off in the game?
I guess.
And he was going that day.
Neighbors is pissed off because he has a bad quarterback. They can't get the ball.
He got a bad team.
He got a bad team. He's just pissed off because he's in a situation where 90% of the passes thrown to him are falling incomplete.
Yeah.
So,
Well, if you think about it, the pressure that they put on Russell Wilson, he got sacked twice, 8 quarterback hits, but this is the other part. He had to run the ball 8 times.
Yeah.
So they're not calling quarterback draws for him, right? That's out of necessity because of the pressure. So they didn't do a very good job, and I see where their starting left tackle,
I saw that.
Andrew Thomas did not practice yesterday, and he hasn't played since the 6th game of last year.
that's the guy with the Liz Frank.
Yeah, he had surgery after 6 games last year, and so they're kind of bringing him along slowly.
Yeah.
But he didn't practice, and I saw where Daboll said that, well, they're just trying to see what he can do these next 2 days. But if he can't practice, they just got their backup swing tackle out there, James Hudson.
What was the score of the Commanders Giants game? It was
21-6?
You know,
Something ugly.
when you look at that,
21-6.
when you look at that, it's amazing they hung on the way they did.
Oh, no.
And see, that kind of gives me a low pause because that's where kind of coaching comes into effect. You're doing the best of what you got. You know you don't have much, but you held them 21 points.
Well, think about this, and I know it was 6. They had 11 snaps inside from the 8-yard line in, and only came away, and it was 2 possessions with 1 field goal. And then they turned it over on downs because they had to go for it. They were so far behind.
Yes, inept.
So they moved. They got there.
And see,
But they
got to
couldn't
look at those things.
Can't get it in the end zone.
You got to look at those things. We found out from a lot of losing around here. As the team that was on the wrong end of that, we showed that there were moments if we would have made a play, it would have made some type of a difference. It ended up being maybe a 3-score game, 4-score game, the way it was last year. But there was a moment there. If you could have taken advantage of something that was there to take advantage of, and we blew it, it ends up being for nothing. But if they would have made that play, the same thing I'm looking at in the Giants game, 21 points. You only got 21 points on the New York Giants, and you let them score 6, and you're in the red zone that many times. That doesn't make me feel too comfortable.
I thought you were talking about the Cowboys opener.
What you mean?
You had just made that play.
Right.
Yeah. And put this on Daniels, the quarterback for the Commanders. He missed 2 big throws. I mean, and that would have extended it as well.
Yeah.
And so you're looking at it should have been a 35-6. It could have been 42-6. I mean, because they were just that bad. The Commanders struggled.
It could have been 21-13 though.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
I mean, but when you look at the New York Giants offense, it has no rhyme or reason to it right now. No flow at all, no balance at all. And so that's where you get the Malik Neighbors blow up on the sideline. But Mickey, can we talk about the defense one time?
Cowboys defense?
No, the New York Giants defense. You want to talk about the Giants defense versus the Cowboys offense? You tell me about this New York Giants defensive line.
Well, I think that they've got some pass rushers that you better be careful of between Burns, Thibodeau, and the rookie, Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
And I just saw, I think it was in one of the New York papers. It was a columnist, and it was like, can we get all 3 guys on the field at the same time?
Yeah.
Because I guess they were using Carter as a back, kind of a rotation.
Yeah, he is to Burns.
And so he wanted all 3 guys on the field at the same time. They need to create a pass rush. They didn't play well against the run, but Jaden Daniels had 11 carries for 68 yards.
Oh, man.
So does that sound familiar to what the Cowboys let Hurts get away with, right? And I know they rushed for, 220 yards, but when your quarterback rushes for 68, that makes a huge, huge
So
difference.
our quarterback won't be doing that, I don't think. I mean, he's in good shape.
Yeah,
But he won't
yeah,
be
no.
trying to get down the field.
Well, let's hope.
60-something
Let's
yards.
just hope and pray that he doesn't have to run for
There you go.
68 yards. And you could put the onus on Williams to carry the load.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, if the pass rush starts getting in the way, then Dak's got to go.
Well, before we get
That's
to
what you gotta
before
worry
you get to the pass rush, you were talking about the 200 yards that they gave up, and to me, that's the biggest thing that. As for a Dallas Cowboys team that came into the season saying we got to run the ball, this team gave up 220 yards on last week.
Steady diet.
That's all I'm giving them.
Well, but remember, 87 of those yards was the quarterback and one Debo 19-yard run. So, if you gave up, 100 I don't know what it comes to, 120 yards or whatever, 130 yards. That's still a lot.
I'll take
Great
that.
production.
I'll take that from a Cowboys
because the Cowboys
offense.
had 119 last week.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
And against what you considered a better defensive front in Washington.
Did you watch the play, the Debo run, the 20-yard run?
Yes.
You know what I thought about when I saw that?
Would you like him on your team?
No, I didn't think that. I thought about your guy. I thought about your guy, Cavante Turpin. I said that is the perfect play for Cavante Turpin. They did like a bunch of trips, bunch formation. Debo goes in motion, circles back around, and then comes back the other way like a reverse. They couldn't stop it. They had it blocked up very well, and Schottenheimer has that in his playbook.
So
Yes, he does. I saw it.
do you think that has something to do with the over aggression of the defensive ends? Did they hold the edge? They did
I'm gonna
hold
tell you
the edge
something.
well.
I watched Thibodeau, and he takes plays off. He is one of those guys. He will on that 19-yard run. Watch Thibodeau on that, and we see you. You got a loaf on that when we got back to film study.
I'm sure they saw that. I'm sure the Cowboys see that.
Yeah, so guys take breaks, and I don't know what the deal is between Burns and Abdul Carter. As far as, Abdul Carter came in asking for Lawrence Taylor's number. Now he's sitting on the bench to start the season off. It's not a good look.
Because he asked for Lawrence Taylor's number.
I don't know.
What number did he end up getting? 50?
It wasn't 56.
He wasn't 56.
That's all that matters.
That's
think he
it.
got
And we might not see him either.
51.
51.
But see, he, by the way, at Penn State wore 11. If that just rings a bell.
You just can't. Never mind. You know what? There's no way we can get away with it. Well, what about their secondary? Their secondary for the Giants. What did you see in their secondary and where we could take advantage?
Yeah, I didn't see anything there that just scared me. I just think you got to block it up front. And to where you started, credit this offensive line, right? None of these five guys played in a game together. I mean, a snap. They didn't play in preseason, right? You add a rookie. Guyton got hurt, I think it was July 28th, and he didn't have a padded practice until the week of the game. And they went out there, and I thought they played well.
I did too.
They can play better.
I thought they played well.
But I thought they played well, considering the fact that you're starting a rookie there, you're starting a second-year center, and then Guyton with a second year, and he barely had any practice getting ready for the game.
What did you think about this game? Guyton. What about you guys?
I think it was – I thought I saw improvement. It wasn't perfect, but I thought it was improvement over last year. I thought he fought better. Not meaning the swing he took at the one.
I like that.
He missed.
I like that.
He missed.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Eric Williams, who would do whatever possible
John
to beat
Madden's
the guy
favorite.
in front
John
of him.
Madden's
Right?
favorite.
And it's like,
I thought
okay.
Nate was his favorite.
Huh?
I thought Nate Newton was his favorite.
Yeah, but then Nate left.
Okay, all right.
Nate left. Now Eric's here.
But that's what it reminded me of. Okay, if you're going to scrap, let's go.
Then
Scrap.
after Eric left, then Larry Allen was his favorite.
Yeah, because those guys,
They delivered.
it was the offensive attitude like Haley on defense, because Haley he scared people because they didn't know what he'd do to beat them, what he'd try, right? And that put fear in
Your
him to start
reputation
with.
off the field has a lot to do with your reputation.
Yeah.
On the
Like,
field.
I got to block this
Right.
guy?
I saw what he did in the club the other day.
Hey, and some of these guys don't have a mean rep like those guys did
No.
back off the field.
But I think Guyton, I think Guyton can live up to that reputation.
Yeah. I thought he was better on his feet, and he was better
With his hands.
He
with
didn't.
his
He didn't
hands,
overextend
Right.
a lot.
Right.
I thought he stayed within himself.
Because too many times it was like
Right.
bent over like this, and you can't block that way.
I almost don't want to judge him off of what I saw from him as a rookie. I felt like, out of the frying pan into the fire was what his rookie season looked like. So it was good to actually see him fighting in there like Mickey was not getting pushed around, not getting bullied.
He was not a weak link.
Yeah, and he literally brought the fight with him. Getting a line, they saw a couple of times PFF was showing where his alignment was off. Those are all things that you could go back to film study and get corrected. But we are going to take our first break here on Mixed Shots. And I just want to say, obviously today is the 24th anniversary of the worst tragedy that happened in America. And I want to make sure that everyone knows that my thoughts and prayers are with those, the family and the victims as well. It's FDNY for life. And we'll be back on Mixed Shots.
Good job.
Hey, Cowboy fans. Keith Davis here, former Cowboys safety.
Keith Davis into the end zone.
You know what separates champions from the rest? Making the right move at the right moment. With blockchain.com, that's never been easier. The Cowboys became America's team by striking bold when it mattered most. Now it's your turn. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com. Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys today to get started and learn more. That's blockchain.com/Cowboys.
Look, school's starting and I'm just a kid. And let's be honest, I'm not going to shop for myself. But we can get up to 40% off back-to-school essentials on Uber Eats. Did I mention I need poster board for my science fair, lunch for my field trip, and unlined note cards for my history quiz tomorrow? Or were they lined? Anyway, Uber Eats has like all the back-to-school stuff on there. So come on, let's order now on Uber Eats and get up to 40% off. We're cool, right? Cool.
Not literally everything. Promotion ends 9/16 and is subject to change or cancellation. Exclusions may apply. Check app for availability.
Miller Lite, the legendary light beer. The originator, the inventor. If this beer could talk, it'd tell stories about that one time, that night, that one guy, that one gal. Writing a story 50 years long and 50 million friends wide. Because legendary stories start with a light. Here's to 50 years of Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Hey, Cowboy fans, if you're thinking about attending a game this season, visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today. Stay at the team hotel, have dinner with a Cowboys legend, and experience the best sports venue in the world, AT&T Stadium. Also, tour the Star, get autographs from your favorite players, and talk X's and O's with me, Mickey Spagnola. The official travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys will take care of all your travel needs. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your package today.
Back to Mixed Shots.
The countdown to game day starts with Rally Days presented by SeatGeek. Get behind-the-scenes look at AT&T Stadium, meet the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders and alumni, play games, win prizes, and more. Get your tickets at attntstadium.com/rallydays.
Oh, back rocking on Mixed Shots. Heckma Harrison here, Mickey Spagnola across from me, and Everson Walls in the building as our guy, Mr. Jones, will be here in just a second as Mickey's counting down the minutes.
He's got to deal with the head coach.
Got to deal with the head coach.
Deal with him.
But I had a question.
Handle it, Bill.
I got a question for you guys about the wide receivers. I wasn't spinning a narrative, Mickey, when I was talking about George Pickens, not in his targets. But this is a game that I think that you come into saying that you got to look number 3's way. Yeah.
Well, I think you got to look his way all the time. Mm-hmm. I don't think they purposely ignored him last week. I think that's kind of the way it turned out. Look, if CeeDee Lamb catches 3 of those passes, you ain't even asking that, right?
I might.
Well,
I'm just joking.
You're looking like that's why he's
looking at me and pointing. I had to
disagree. Right? But here's what happens in the media, right? He had to answer the question yesterday. First game. Oh, did you not get enough targets? You know, and to his credit, he answered the way he should have answered it. It's like, I'm out there to play, the ball comes my way. And he basically said, well, does pass interference count? Right? I mean, that's a catch. That was a huge, that was a touchdown, right?
That was huge.
And it set up a touchdown. So I think we forget about those. That's another stat that needs to be added somewhere.
Interesting.
Like the quarterback gets robbed of passing yards, the wide receiver gets robbed of a catch.
But the offense benefits. So,
yeah, right.
You know,
and if you're a team guy, then everything's fine. And basically that's how he answered the question. But again, right away, that had to be the first question.
Well, you know, when you have a reputation that he had coming from Pittsburgh, I brought it up before, where they were looking for him as the media, and he's in the weight room by himself, upset about whatever just happened. And that happened a lot. He was with Russell Wilson. That happened a lot in Pittsburgh towards the end of the season, because that's just the way it went. Plus, wide receivers being divas. So the media was obviously, they're looking for, they're going to look for something. I mean, we lost the game. It was a good game. A lot of drama went on. They were just going to add to the drama. No big deal. He didn't bite, which is a good thing. But I don't want to give him that many opportunities to have an attitude. I want to make sure that this guy is happy. Schottenheimer seems to be able to communicate with him up until this point. I'm not looking forward to any problems, but I can tell you, when he caught that ball on the sideline, that was a beautiful catch. You know, he's got the hands that is perfect for Dak's passes. Because Dak's passes are not always, fired in there.
He's got an incredible catch radius.
He does. And just you saw it. It was like, and the guy was trying to hit it, and he's got it. Those are the kind of wide receivers that are going to give you the sure catch. Nothing on C.D. Lamb, of course. That guy's freaking amazing. I'm not even talking about that. Just talking about how this guy plays, coming in here. He's going to be a guy in this game. You've got cornerbacks that you can take advantage of.
Yes.
I can see him just going off when we need him. Because to me, in this game, got to establish the run first before we do anything.
And if you saw the nature of the two guys in training camp, like they would celebrate each other's catches.
No doubt. I mean,
way out of their way,
right?
I saw that. I saw C.D. Lamb run across the field to celebrate with him in the end zone, and vice versa.
We all learn, Spags. We all learn.
Yeah.
And I think that as a team, we learn. We can't get along just being individuals.
Right.
Yeah, I know this is the Cowboys, and everybody wants their star to be higher than the other. This team needs to, if you're going to go anywhere, you don't have enough talent on this team to be individuals. You got to come together as a group.
And somebody learned that lesson.
Yep.
Man, that you just said a mouthful there. And I think where you could take advantage of what George Pickens' skill set is against the Giants is his yards after catch. You talked about the fact that the Giants defense, they're good pressure centric, so they're going to be sending guys up in Dak's face.
Yes.
And so short things, any of those things. But what he can do once the ball is in his hands, he is one of the league leaders in yak since he's been in the league. And I mean,
it's got to be 50-50 balls as well. He's got to be.
Yeah.
Oh, the head coach basically pointed out that if they want to man George Pickens,
it's over.
He's open.
He's open.
That's what he said.
That's right.
He's open.
That's right. We all need to understand this, but at the same time, if I'm the Giants, let's just look at what the Giants are going to do. We know we can't stop them. Run, pass. We're going to blitz our asses off. They are going to blitz Dak all day long, so you better be ready. They're going to try and make this game as chaotic as possible. And we as a team, except for last week, have not shown to react well, especially early in games, to a lot of pressure coming at you, and because we don't have great communication at the beginning of games. We've already ironed it out at times in the second half, but you don't have time for that.
Well,
these days.
The other thing happened opposite of that in that game, because they scored on their first 4 possessions, if you think about it, and then shut it down the second half.
Yeah.
But they didn't shut it down until they lost the fumble at the 11-yard line.
Right.
Schottenheimer, I think it was after the game, he tried to explain what the coverage was and that they were doing sort of a cloud on Pickens.
Okay.
And for some reason, they thought Adoree Jackson's going to take on CeeDee Lamb man-to-man.
That's the gamble every team's going to have to gamble that way, though, Mick.
And
everybody's
see what happened after a while.
I got this corner's going to take out CeeDee Lamb. Well, good luck with that.
Well, you saw what happened.
Yeah, I know.
On the bench. He ended up on the bench.
Then they brought in another guy.
They brought in somebody else, right?
Yeah. And once again, they were not effective on CeeDee. CeeDee just held himself.
So media storm all week for CeeDee Lamb and the drops. This is a game where you feel like obviously establishing the run being number one, but number two, for himself feeling better this game. For him going through it, but also coming in here on his off day, the jugs machine, all of that. This has to be a game for number 88 where he has to come in and get some catches to feel better about himself.
And he will. You know what the other offshoot was? When you're worrying about those two guys? Mm-hmm. The tight end down the middle. Now, Dak missed once.
Yes.
He was short.
Yes.
Fergie in the end zone had one. And then I think there was another one that the linebacker dropped far enough to cover Ferguson. But that guy, it's like you can't zone everybody, right? You can't man everybody. And if you're going to worry about those guys on the outside, and they really didn't exploit it that much with Kevontae Turpin, but in training camp, that was one of the things. He was catching the ball 10, 15 yards down the field, not just junk passes. So that's another thing.
This would be a good game to not just try it out.
Yeah, but you got to block it up front.
You have to run the play. Let's be successful in running the play. Let's not just try anything just to fool them. Let's make every play able to break if you can. I mean, that's why we have exciting players on this team, not so we can just get 10, 15 yards. Sometimes somebody make a mistake, it's going to break.
Right.
Because it broke on us more than a few times last year.
Yeah, teams are going to have to pick their poison with the Dallas Cowboys wide receivers. Jake Ferguson, 6 targets, 5 catches, just 23 yards. And so, obviously, you got to be a lot bigger with your third wide receiver because of the it was. And again, I think this from last season coming into this one, this is one of these games where you've got to feel like more confidence in your third wide receiver, whether it's Ferguson or whether it's Turpin. But for me, my money, I'm going right back to 88 because I need his confidence to be back on a million because the way that he left that game, I just didn't like it. I didn't like the aura, and I didn't like what people were saying about one of the clutch wide receivers in the NFL.
The only thing that makes me feel better about that is his showing up outside. That's the only thing that makes me feel better about that. If he comes in and he doesn't show any type of remorse or whatever.
He cares.
Yeah. I mean, and sometimes you can say, oh, that's just show or whatever, but,
Well, he cared after the game, too. He faced the music, too.
Yeah.
Right after the game.
Well, because
so
last year,
I don't know how they're going to play their secondary, but my first play of the game is a slant to CeeDee.
There you go.
No Vegas odds on that.
Hey, it might be. I bet it is.
I just said it.
No Vegas odds on that. But we will come back, and we're going to talk about number 4 because Dak has to come up big in this matchup. Coming up next on Mick Shots.
Look, school is starting, and I'm just a kid. And let's be honest, I'm not going to shop for myself. But we can get up to 40% off back-to-school essentials on Uber Eats. Did I mention I need poster board for my science fair, lunch for my field trip, and unlined note cards for my history quiz tomorrow? Or were they lined? Anyway, Uber Eats has all the back-to-school stuff on there. So come on, let's order now on Uber Eats and get up to 40% off. We're cool, right? Cool.
Not literally everything. Promotion ends 9/16 and is subject to change or cancellation. Exclusions may apply. Check app for availability.
Hey, Cowboy fans. Keith Davis here, former Cowboys safety.
Keith Davis into the end zone.
You know what separates champions from the rest? Making the right move at the right moment. With blockchain.com, that's never been easier. The Cowboys became America's team by striking bold when it mattered most. Now it's your turn. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com. Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys today to get started and learn more. That's blockchain.com/Cowboys.
Miller Lite, the legendary light beer. The originator, the inventor. If this beer could talk, it'd tell stories about that one time, that night, that one guy, that one gal. Writing a story 50 years long and 50 million friends wide. because legendary stories start with a light. Here's to 50 years of Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
The National Medal of Honor Museum is now open in Arlington, Texas, just a few blocks from AT&T Stadium. Immersive exhibits and exciting technology allow you to fly a rescue helicopter mission in Vietnam and have conversations with virtual Medal of Honor recipients. Come be inspired by these incredible stories of ordinary Americans who did the extraordinary. Get your tickets at mohmuseum.org.
Back to Mixed Shots.
Cowboys Nation, Dallas Cowboys United, presented by Globe Life, is exclusively in the Dallas Cowboys app. Join the official fan club today to receive access to Cowboys Drops, where you can win game tickets, autograph items, exclusive experiences, and more. Download the app now to join.
Well, before we talk about Dak, Mickey, was there any footing on the Jadeveon Clowney signing?
Well, the defensive coordinator said the pass rushers are hard to find, but we'll look at that, and nothing new on Clowney. So my intel from yesterday, he stayed here after the visit. I don't know if they had to. I don't think they worked him out. Mm-hmm. It sounded like they were going to sign him. And then he watched practice and left without a contract. Mm-hmm. So Eberflus said nothing new on it. My guess is he wanted more money than they were offering.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Don't you think that's what all is?
Yeah, come on now. He heard about the salary cap, and he tried to come in here and
guess is.
Thank you for saying. I made a rookie mistake, man. Bill Jones is here. I should have came back from break after the read and addressed that Bill Jones is sitting here, and I was going to Jadeveon Clowney.
That's because the star of the show, Mickey Spagnola, in the break said, "I need to say something about Clowney." And so
I hijacked it.
Yeah, there.
Well, he was here. He's big. When I told you, I think I walked by him. I saw this big guy in
the blouse.
The blousey. I didn't say a
sure.
blouse.
The EY makes it better.
I said blousey sweatshirt, and it was him. And he watched practice.
Let's say
he was up there with Josh Brent, and they were watching from the upper deck there above the weight room, and it sounded like they were going to sign him, and then he left. So, but again, he might have been spoiled last year by Carolina signing him to a 2-year, $20 million deal with $12 million guaranteed.
Yeah,
that ain't happening here.
Now nobody's going to let him Bernie Madoff like that, man.
Right?
He's not going to get that deal here, so they
if you
turn him away.
If you walked in here with 10 sacks, now
that's the difference.
Talk, but not.
Well,
5
now
and a half.
Here's the thing.
The Eagles got that guy.
Here's the thing. If I'm a player and I walk in here to the star.
Yeah.
You
think
I'm gonna see dollar signs?
You're big time.
I mean, come on, man. You want to be big time, but then you don't want to pay me big time.
Right.
That's gonna be my name.
You know where the mistake was? They took him to the Cowboy Club.
See what I'm saying?
That was it. Once he went to the Cowboy Club, it was like, oh
man.
Yeah.
But see, the year before, when he was in Baltimore, they paid him like the Cowboys paid Javonte Williams, like $3.5 million or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then Carolina goes in. It's like, oh yeah, this is Clowney. We're going to sign him, and they gave him a big signing bonus, and then they said, well, we needed salary cap money, so we're going to save $7.8 million. But they ended up with $6 million dead because of the guarantees they gave him. Guaranteed him $12 million.
So when he went to Baltimore, he was chasing a ring.
Yeah.
When he went to Carolina, he wasn't chasing a ring.
Well, chasing the ring, he ended up with 9.5 sacks.
He wasn't chasing the ring at Carolina?
Funny guy. Huh?
No. But
and he probably played with better guys on the defensive front in Baltimore.
Hence the 9.5.
Which helps him, right?
No, that's well, I'm going to give you the cliff notes to the show.
Okay.
Catch you up on what's going on. So basically,
not just me, but others who have maybe just joining.
Absolutely. So here's the deal. We've been talking about the New York Giants defense, all right? Talking about the strength being their front seven and how they gave up 200 yards. We need Williams to double that effort and not rely on Dak's legs for anything. We also talked about our guy George Pickens and targeting him more, but also the bounce back game for CD after, if you call this a bounce back game after having 110 yards, but the drops being one thing to get his confidence back. And so now you are caught up to speed, Bill.
And the cornerback position.
And the corner.
And the corner.
Yeah, man.
There you go.
And you have updated on what Eberflus said about the cornerback position?
Yes.
Okay. One thing, when I was looking at the Giants last night, have you got their injury report? What does it say?
I do.
What does it say about Micah McFadden?
That was the other thing I was going to bring up. He did not practice.
Mm-hmm. And
they're worried
seeing
about
an interview with his replacement, Darius Muasau.
Is it Muasau? I did not have that.
I'm going with that.
Okay.
Until
I pronounced that wrong.
It could be different than that.
Muasau.
We'll go with name. Darius, number 53.
Yes.
Okay. And it's actually, if you go look at that game, McFadden got hurt, and then the next play, or maybe in the second play, 53 came in, and right at snap, it was like Kingsbury.
He knew it.
We're going to take advantage of this linebacker that just came in the game. They're down in the red zone, and they've set the formation right, and at the snap, 53 doesn't even know who he's got. And so, but who he had was Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
And Ertz ran a little out and in and touchdown Washington.
Which, by the way, I read a story where McFadden is out. He needs foot surgery.
Yeah, and and listening to Darius Muasau's interview yesterday, it sounded like they were hoping that he would come back late in the season. But anyway, there's potential. Now he made 7 starts last year, 53 did, and it may just be one play where he got thrown into the mix and he's confused, and they've got a full week to prepare, but they're down a linebacker, and so there's something there the Cowboys might be able to take advantage of a guy he's a second-year player out of UCLA.
What did you think about, and this off subject, Cliff Kingsbury play calling?
Well, I mean, I was focused more in on the Giants, just watching the game last night. I mean, I've always thought that at the NFL, that's his strength. His strength was not being a head coach. Because he's not great in some ways he's socially awkward and and in fact yesterday was talking to a guy who coached with him who said that very same thing. And but as far as
he's in his head a lot, kind of like Landry, smart guys, they're in their heads a lot.
Exactly, right. And but as far as drawing up plays and everything,
yeah, I thought he was in his bag, and like he was dialing it up. And when we were talking about the play that Debo, the 19-yard run from Debo, I thought that was eerily familiar to what we see with Shoddy. And so as a play caller, the ability to mix things up, I kind of see them 1A, 1B in that regard. So the play calling for me, I think, versus this Giants defense has to be spot on. And we talked about the balance with the running game. I'm still trying to figure out this great Giants defense giving up 220 yards rushing. I'm like, man, is that just, first week of the season blues for these guys, or was it just the scheme that beat them?
Well, and then these edge rushers, I mean, how well do they defend the run? Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, and the new guy, Abdul Carter. Are they're guys that are intent on getting to the quarterback? And they
left a lot of crevices open for Daniels, just like we did for Jalen Hurts.
Well, and they had the rookie second pick in the draft, Abdul Carter. They were moving him around, and I mean, he was lining up as an inside linebacker at times, getting all 3 of the guys on the field at the same time. Well, when he lines up an inside linebacker, let's run the football and see how you can defend the run.
Well, the Giants people are sitting there talking about, if Philadelphia ran for 158 yards on this defense, we're going to run the ball. Mm-hmm. But take into account the most leading rusher was the quarterback, and the leading rusher for Washington was the quarterback.
And see, the Hegma brought up something that was done in the game against the Redskins. As a defense, you have to know what your offense is trying to do. You have to know what the opposing offense is trying to do so you won't be so confused. We seemed confused defensively all last year, as if we had no practice or had no idea what was going on. It wasn't just that we were being outplayed, we were being outthought as a defense. When you have a defense that's in line and knows what's going on the other side, anticipation is the key. You look at the setup, you know what they're trying to do, you know what kind of defense they have, and as a unit, you understand what they're trying to do. There's so many times where you see a defense, they recognize the formation, everybody's going around looking around, waving their hands. This is what we're talking about, and the play gets stuffed. We don't have that here yet. That's something that we can do as a group. We can do that as a group. I talk about we don't have the great individuals, but as a group, when you come together as a group, not only do you have better plays defended, you have fewer players getting hurt. When you see a player get hurt, most of the time it's because that player is in an unfamiliar position.
Yeah, he's out of position.
He's out of position. There's something's going on, so now you forget about your body language and all of that. Next thing you know, you twist your knee just after the play is over, or something trivial like that. These are the kind of things that happened to the Cowboys a lot last year. That does not happen to good defenses that are coached well. I didn't see that happen last week. Even though we gave up some yards to Saquon, we could have given up more. We all came to the game. We all came to the ball. That's the kind of things we're going to have to continue all year long if we want to be contend in this NFC East.
Because if I told you before the game Saquon was going to get 60 yards,
we talked about it.
You would have
We'll take it.
Yeah,
we'll
take it.
3.5 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
and it worked for us. What didn't work for us was a smart-ass quarterback who knows what we're trying. Once again, he knows what we're trying to do, where we're successful. And he said, you know what, I can counter that myself. Y'all go ahead and keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to scramble for this touchdown.
And that's what Jaden Daniels did last week with the Giants.
So Dak Prescott, 29. That's okay. Dak Prescott, 29 touchdowns versus the Giants. How many does he end this game with, guys? Round table.
2.
3.
The first number that came to mind for me was 3, so I go with 3.
So he finishes with 32 touchdowns versus the Giants.
And what is this? 8?
Well,
8? How many times have we beaten them?
8 in a row.
But
8 in a row, and he's 13.
He's 13 in a row. And you know when he lost? His rookie year. He lost 21-20 and 10-7. 21-20 was the first game of the season. And then later in the year, 10-7.
And it wasn't just him.
And
his
game,
his team was balling too.
And the one game the Giants won, that like the Cowboys have won 15 of 16. The one they lost,
was when he broke his.
Was Andy Dalton at quarterback the last game of the 2020 season.
Okay.
But Andy Dalton won the game for Dak when he got hurt.
Okay.
That's right.
I thought he lost that.
No, he won.
No, he won the first meeting. And then
which is the
lost
one they got
second
hurt in.
one.
Yeah.
Bill, thank you for missing today. Miss anytime. You know, I don't think you have to worry about Wally Pipp.
Well, you know what? It's funny you said that because I was just telling my daughter yesterday the story of Wally Pipp.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I think you're good around here. Send us up out of here.
Got Wally Pipp.
Call him Wally. I'll call you Wally.
All right, so we got all our picks tomorrow. Everybody's here.
We need another segment.
You're not taking another.
I'm not taking another Friday.
I'll Google it.
I'm gonna be here.
All right, so it's Fight Song Friday tomorrow here on Mix Shots.
Oh, Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?